To make it even more complicated or even more beautiful,
Colorful, more colorful than complicated.
I had a second mother, somebody who looked after me as a child, because my mother wanted to go back to work after I was born. I was the second born in the family. She was chasing after her nursing career. You know, you have to remember women at that time, that was one of the avenues that was open to them.
Was nursing, yeah, go on.
So she employed another person to be with me, to look after me. That I call that person, I still call Ma. Whereas my mother, I always call Mama. You know, but Ma was the real mother for me because she was with me 24 hours. You know, I slept with her, she brought me up, and she was from Kelantan. Ma was a Kelantan person, and she was the daughter of the royal midwife of the Kelantan court. So, you know, my Tok Me died when she was 100. I think she got to the right age of 100, and she always used to tell us the funny stories about the royal house of Kelantan. When she came to Perlis to visit, she said, "Oh, I'm going to the palace." So as children, we were amused, like, you know, why are you going to the palace? Tok nak pergi istana tu apa? Tu Tengku Badriah. Tu masa dia diperanakkan, she was the bidan. So she knew all the royal family because she was there always delivering. Now, she was a wealth of information for me culturally in terms of you know, the Kelantanese Malay sort of background. And again, it was sort of like, it fired my imagination. It fired my imagination that all these people, later on, you know, in my life, I was to make a work about the three women, my three grandmothers, as I call them, the Chinese one, the Indian one, and Tok herself. These people really influenced me more than anything else. The stories they told, you know, and I think half the stories they made it up. You know, Buddha dengar cerita, and we used to say, Tok, cerita lagi satu. And she would start and she would tell these stories, and I've never been able to find references to some of the stories. Where did they get the stories from? You know, folk tales. We know a lot of Malay folk tales are common, you know. Yeah. But some of the things they told, I said, I think they made it up based on their lives. Based on their life experience. They wove these tales of their adventures. So that is one aspect of my life that I really treasure. Having that very intricate, complex background. Just to complicate matters, my mom was married to a Jaffna Tamil, and he passed away. When he passed away was when my mother said to her, "Come and look after my child."
Malay from Kelantan.
Yeah.
Married to a Jaffna.
To a Jaffna Tamil.
No, much more potpourri can you be?
Well, Nusantara and more.
And my mom spoke Tamil.
Plus China.
Wonderful.
Incredible.
What a delightful childhood you have. And it's wonderful
It's
that
very
you
difficult
recognize,
for me to explain.
Yeah.
My family knows.
But your mom lives with you, right?
Yeah.
With your family.
She lived with me until I was 11. And that was when my father died. And then she had to go and look after her own son, who had just
she
graduated.
Had son of her own.
She had children of her own, but her own son was older than me, and he was regarded as a child in our family, and he went to the Serdang College, agriculture college at that time, and he had just graduated. So she said, look, I'm just going to go and stay with him and see that he's settled.
How did that affect you? How did that affect
I
you?
was brokenhearted.
I can imagine.
Suddenly, no more. And my father had just died, and my mother was in utter grief. But she went away for a couple of years, and then she came back. She said, look, and by the time she came back, I was 13, 14. And I was able to appreciate much more at 14, 15. But, added to which, I was crazy about performing. Anything, at that time. I was in a kugiran.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Kugiran.
You don't know what kugiran is?
No, nyanyi ke memain?
Kumpulan
I look young
gitar
only.
rancak.
Yes.
I was a singer.
Oh,
I was a
young
singer
but old.
in this
Oh, wow.
kugiran, and those kugirans, later on.
You remember the
they-
name of the girl?
Well, there was the Pelicans, and then there were all English names.
Yeah, but your
the Burglars became very famous because they went on to Juara Kugiran. The Pelicans, the
What
Burglars,
years were these? What period?
from 1963 till 1967.
Ooh, quite a long period.
63 was Form 1, and 67 was my fifth form, after which, I had to leave my school because there was no sixth form in Perlis at that time. We had to go to Alostar. So life changed then, and it was also within 6 months of finishing what they call the school certificate, or Cambridge school certificate.
Cambridge.
Cambridge
Yes.
school certificate. Within 6 months, I had won a scholarship to go to USA.
Oh, wonderful.
It all happened very fast. When I look at it now, it seems to be very fast. Like one thing, I stepped in, and then next thing, I was going to USA. And what did I do in USA? Joined, did the course in choral music, a cappella choir, where I honed my skills in Western music. And then before I left, I went and recorded all the music, like 39 music. Worked with my Pak Guru, because I was expected to take that
your culture.
some art culture to USA. And that was when I was in USA, I said, this is really wonderful.
Where were you
Performing
sent
every
to
time.
USA to study?
Which part
Which
were
college?
In USA,
Which college?
not college. I went to the final year of high school. It was
in USA itself?
American Field Service.
Oh, I see.
yeah.
American
that,
Field
um,
Service scholarship,
that
and I was
exchange
in Wisconsin.
program.
But when you make your application, you put down your interests, and of course mine was full of performance, being with the kugiran, singing in nightclubs and everything. So when they select the school and the family that you're going to go to, they look at those.
What data you put in your
Yeah,
application,
and
then
they match you. So I was sent to a family that had 7 children, and all of them played an instrument. They were all
wow.
very
So they
involved.
really selected the
Yeah,
right.
they selected that family in classical music, and then the school that they selected was one of the best for performing arts. So I was in every musical, every play, worked with the only black girl in my town, because it was a very waspish town. Vicky was the only black girl in town, and I remember the first day in class, I looked at her and I said, "You're the only colored person apart from me." And
But how did they
became,
perceive you? Did they perceive you as colored?
yeah,
Oh,
Asian.
that's a surprise. Oh, Asian. But Asian is not
Asian colored.
too much discriminated
Yeah, but
against.
Vicky was a
Pure
black, black girl, but she was a dancer. So you just within one day
2 colors.
we made a pact that we were going to dance together. And for me, I was crazy about the Motown sound. See how complicated it is. If you talk to people today, what do you mean by the Motown sound? It was the Supremes, the Four Tops. You know, I was buying records of all these people because I just loved that black music. So when I got to USA, met Vicky, I said, this is becoming real, you know.
Yeah.
And so
Living
the
up
whole
to your
year
dreams.
of that year in USA, I can't say I liked being in USA, but because of the performing arts, because of the involvement in singing, dancing, you know, sometimes, a lot of times I had to give lectures and talks to various organizations, and I would start with a dance, whether it be a Trinai dance or it be, you know, we used to have, I used to teach some of the other students who were not from Malaysia some form of folk dance, like a very simple Zamin, so that we would perform and then we would talk about our country.
So when you went to America, you were already well versed in this
Yes,
dance
I was,
form.
yeah.
So where did you learn?
I wouldn't say I was well versed, but I had done
Familiar, you're familiar with the
not with the idea of being a professional artist or sorts. What I was interested in was to be a pop singer. It was a pop you know.
So you were
you know,
not dancing in police at that time during school
I
days?
was dancing.
You were?
I started
With the school
seriously when I found out I was going to USA. That was when I said, "Look, I've got to do something."
Yeah.
I went to Pak Meh and said, "Look, you know, teach me proper dancing." And until then, I was just ikut saja. You know, you say when Pak Meh is doing something, kita pun ikut.
Yeah.
But you couldn't say that we learned a dance, you know. And I started Indian classical dance.
Where?
There?
Before I went to USA.
Oh, wow.
So 6 months before, yeah.
But what inspired you to do classical Indian?
Who taught
My
you?
family background. the
taught you?
great
Were
grandmother.
they classical Indian dancers? Because you watch Inai, you watch Malay dance. But where did that? Because members of your family were dancers as well.
Yeah, but don't forget, Hindi films and Tamil films were prolific, you know.
Yeah, but they were not Bharatanatyam.
They were not Bharatanatyam, but we didn't know that. Nowadays, when I look at even like Vajantimala, Padmini, Ragini, Lalita, the famous name,
Right,
I said, oh God, it's so cranky. But they were the stars.
The inspiration.
They were the stars. I've just been, I had an interview with Dr. Prema the other day. She's trying to write about how classical dance, Indian classical dance, developed. And I said, well, you couldn't say that the 1950s and 1960s, it was all based on the films.
Movie industry.
And the people who came live performances like Padmini, Ragini, Lalita, the three sisters, Kamala Lakshman, they were famous because they were in films.
Right.
So the local people, the local Indians, looked at their dancing and said, look, this is like God's dancing, you know, things that temple dance. But really, when you look at it now, they went far beyond the classical technique. They were making it up, you know, and the reels were pulled fast so that it looked really fast. But as young people, when we went to see that, and then of course there's the Hindi films, you've got other dance forms like Helen, you know, the famous Helen doing her gyrating things. So those were what we thought was classical Indian dance. And it was years later when I found a teacher who taught Bharatanatyam. And I went and I said,
in early.
In Alostar.
In Alostar.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was actually from Ipoh, but she used to do
Do you remember
classes.
her name?
Yeah, Prema.
Yeah.
The school was called Usha Prema School of Dance. And
How
there
old
were
you
two
at this
sisters.
time? How old were you at this time?
Well, 17.
Wow, already you have.
Yeah, 17 was my fifth form. We still meet, our alumni still meet There's less and less people these days. But at 17, I was doing
Same here.
the pop music and the pop yay and the Beatles, and trying to actually convince people that it's worth it to do jazz. And then I finished Form 5, found out that I was going to USA. That was when I took things seriously. I said, look, I'm representing this country and its myriads of culture. So did classes, recorded music. That's the first time I actually recorded 39 music.